In this video, we're going to be taking a look at digitizing a really simple logo. And this video idea came about because I was watching another video and they were digitizing this same exact logo. And it got me to thinking that I really encourage you to watch other videos on other embroidery software and how they are digitizing in that software and how it can relate to what we're going to do here in Inkscape with InkStitch. So if you've been around the embroidery world for a while, you know the name John Deere. He is like the king of digitizing. He basically invented embroidery digitizing and been around forever and ever and ever. And he has a software called EL Designer, which came out about a year ago. And this software, I believe, is right around $1,000 to buy the software program, but it has some really unique features. It does some really cool stuff. But he has an approach where it's less about the software and more about the technique, and that's what I really love. I really encourage you to watch his video on this logo first, then come back here and watch how we're going to use Inkscape and InkStitch tools to create the same logo that he's creating. All right, so I will link to his video in the listing description below. Encourage you to watch it. It's about 10 or 15 minutes long. And then you can come back here and watch this video and see how we do it here inside Inkscape and then convert with InkStitch. So let's go ahead and import the logo in question here, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's really simple, kind of what I would consider a classic logo. Because good logos are really simple. And this is a logo for a landscape company. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to convert this to vector. So we're going to use the trace bitmap function. And if this little icon does not exist over here in your Docker here, then you can click the down arrow and access it right there. Okay. But this is one of the ones that I always have open. So we're going to click on that. We are going to use brightness cutoff. We can adjust our threshold here and just simply hit apply. And now we have a vector version of our original bitmap. Okay. Now we don't need necessarily a vector version, but we are going to utilize this a little bit later. In John Deere's video, he does not use any vector information. So he does it just a little bit differently than what we're going to do. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to set the height of this logo, and he digitized it so it's 1.5 inches tall total. Well, we know that there's 25.4 millimeters per inch, so this is roughly 38 millimeters tall, and that would give us 1.5 inches, or you can just switch your unit value to inches, and you could see we're at 1.496, so we could just enter 1.5, and then it's exactly 1.5 inches tall at this point. Okay. So now we have our image, and we'll go back over here to layers and objects. And the first thing I think I would like to do is go ahead and lock our image. And we can click this first little square, and he lowers the opacity of his design. So that's one of the first things that he does. I'm sorry, yeah, we're on layer, and we're supposed to be up here. Let's go ahead and bring that down. But yes, so we don't want to, we want full opacity on our layer, but our path, we want to lower the opacity of our path. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's essentially, when he started, that's essentially where he started at. So he started by digitizing the grass, and that's where we're going to start as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our pen tool, which is the B key on our keyboard. And you can see our cursor has switched to a pen, and we can also access pen over here if you want. But we're going to go ahead and just start clicking. We're going to click here, and so we're going to click there. Let's see. Oh, we got our layer locked. We don't want that. We want our image locked, but not our layer. So we're going to click here, and we're going to click here, here. We're going to come way down here, click there, there, there. Okay, and you can see that looks kind of weird. It's like, whoa, what's that? Well, we're going to show you what that is. And the more that you utilize this tool that we're about to show you, the more you're going to get a feel for where exactly you need to be clicking. I can tell you right now, there is no real rhyme or reason at this point where we're clicking. Okay, we're kind of just making it up as we go along. Now, if you watch his videos, he does something similar. Now, in his video, you don't see these lines like we have, but he's just clicking on back and forth on both sides like this, and he's creating nodes in his software. That's all he's doing, is creating nodes. And that's essentially what we're doing too. We're just doing it the Inkscape way. Okay? And we don't have to go all the way down necessarily. And we're going to come way down here. And I realize that if you've not used Inkscape, this will definitely not make any sense. But when you see how awesome this is, you're going to be like, wow. And the thing that I really love about this is, and you could see it, of course, is literally anyone can do what I'm doing. It takes absolutely zero skills with Inkscape, or no knowledge with InkStitch whatsoever. Anyone can do this. So we'll just keep on going here. I've got a couple more blades of grass to go here. Okay, so there we go. Step 1 is complete. Now let's go ahead and move this over. Let's go ahead and duplicate that first and then move it over. Okay, so there we go. Now that doesn't look like much, and I can understand that. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that, and we're going to go up here to extensions, and we're going to choose InkStitch, and we're going to choose visualize and export, and we're going to come, or tool satin rather, and we're going to, I jumped the gun a little bit, zigzag line to satin. So go ahead and click on that, and we'll go ahead and choose apply. We are going to choose the smoothing option here, which is kind of important for the way we did it. So you see how it's converted now. Now that looks like a hot mess, but it's really not. It's actually pretty decent, especially for no more effort than we gave. So if we come in here to extensions, and we come down here to InkStitch, come down to visualize and export, and we'll come to our stitch plan preview and click apply here. We're going to just create a stitch view of our grass. Okay, and we're going to pull this away here just so we can really scrutinize it a little bit. So this is the result that we've gotten up to this point. Now, if you compare this to what John did in his video, you could see this is not great, but it's not terrible either, again, especially for no more effort than we gave. So let me show you how we can fix this quite easily. So it's just a little bit of node editing. So we're going to click on that first line. So you see there's 2 lines to every piece of satin. So we're going to pull this up to the top, and then all the nodes in between we delete. That's it. Okay? So we're going to do that whole thing. Pull it to the top, all the nodes in between we delete. Pull it to the top, all the nodes in between we delete. Okay? And we'll delete this one too. Now, there's a weird line that was generated. You see that right there? That's a weird line, what I call a weird line. So we're going to fix that real quick. We're just going to go to line, back to curve, and then we can control that a little bit better. See there? So that's literally all we got to do. So we'll click on that one. We'll bring this up to the top, delete everything in between. There you go. Select that one, bring this one to the top, delete everything in between. Okay, and then we can fine tune this if we want. We've got our transformation handles, but we're going to go to the top here, select everything in between, delete. And then of course we can fine tune it. We've got those transformation handles. Click on the next one. We'll pull this one up, delete all the nodes in between, and that one too. There we go. And so now you can see we got these control handles where we can control our grass. Okay. This one here will go all the way to the top. We're going to delete that node and this node. And we can click on that, and then we can control exactly how this looks. Okay, that's the bottom. Okay, and then finally we have one more blade of grass. All the way up top here, we've got an extra node that we don't need. Okay, very, very simple little edits, nothing too crazy. And then if we go back into extensions, InkStitch, visualize and export, back to Stitch Plan Preview, we'll hit apply. And now let's compare. Right there. So you see how much better this looks, and compare that to what John Deere got in his software with our free software, and you can see we get really good results with just very, very limited, very basic know-how. Okay, so now we can go ahead and delete this, and we can slide in our grassy knoll here, and we'll just kind of line it up just like so, and now we can move on. All right. So now the next thing that we're going to do now from here on out, we're going to do things quite differently than the way he did in his software, because I think actually in his software, he made it more complicated than it needed to be. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our Inkscape skills and look at our graphic here and see how we can go about manipulating what we have and be able to move forward here. So right here, we have this kind of little swoosh action right here for the ground. So we can recreate that really easily by hitting the B key on our keyboard. Takes us into our pen tool. We're going to click right there, and then we're going to click an imaginary spot right there. Click on this point here. Click on an imaginary spot there, and go back to the beginning. Okay. Now we're going to switch over to our node tool, and all we have to do is just click and drag. Click and drag. Click and drag. Click and drag. Does not get any easier than that, folks. Now you see where that has like just a little bit of a point to it. The easy way to handle those is we could just delete that because we don't actually need it now. And all we have to do is use our transformation handles here to fine tune exactly. We can bring this in, pull it back, and it's very easy to get that shape with just these two transformation handles. Okay, we're going to go ahead and delete that one here in the middle and do the same thing. We can manipulate this, click on this node, that will give us that top piece. So very easy to create that little swoosh. Okay, now in order to convert this into satin stitches, what we have to do is double click on it. We're going to click on this node and hit the break at nodes, and then click on this node and do the same thing. Break at nodes. Also the shift key, the shift B will do the same thing for us. Okay, so now we can go ahead and convert this into satin stitches by going to extensions, InkStitch and params. Switch over to satin column, create custom satin column, Bob's your uncle, we get perfect satin stitches. Okay, hit apply and quit, and now that's done and dusted. So now we can move on to the L pieces, and this is very, very straightforward. So first of all, that piece is locked. I thought, maybe it's not now. I must have unlocked it at some point. So now we can manipulate it, which we're fixing to do. So we're going to go back to our pen tool, which we know is the B key on our keyboard, and we're just going to click a horizontal line and then right click. Okay, now all we have to do is just move this up a little bit. So let's go into outline mode, and we're just going to move it up just like that. That'll be fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to chop this L up. And I feel like this is the easiest way to do this. So we're going to go, let's turn on snapping for a moment. And we're going to click right there. We're going to click right there. And we're going to come out like that. Okay. And then down here, I want to, what do I want to do here? I want to come here, come here, come here, and here and here. Then I want to come, how do I want to do this? I want to come here, I think, to this, to this, to this, like so. And then over here, I want to click here, and click here. And then I want to add to that path. And then I want to do here to here. So now that we have all of our cut lines in place, we can begin cutting up our logo. I'm going to just do them one at a time just so you can see what's happening here. So we have our cut line and shift clicking our L here. And then if we go up to path, we could choose this option right here, which is right there, division. Okay. And so it's the control /. And when we click on that, our cut line goes away, but then we're left with this little piece of the puzzle here. And then we could do that for all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and then do the same thing where we're going to go to division. Okay. And then we'll keep on going here. Now I am going to go ahead and select all that's left here and combine those together. So we'll hit Control K. We can also go to the path menu and choose combine, but you see there's the Control K. But then, so we have multiple cut points selecting our shape, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll use our keyboard shortcut this time of Control /, and then all of those cuts will happen in one go. And so when we make all of our cuts, now we'll be able to see we have this piece, we have this piece, we have that piece. Where does this get cut at? Okay, we still have one more cut there. Something didn't quite happen there like it was supposed to. And notice right here, we didn't get that cut either. So that's interesting. So let's go back in and make our path again. See why that did not happen the way we expected it to. So there's our cut. We're going to hold Shift key and we're going to use our keyboard shortcut. And this time, we did get that cut. See that? It's still together, but there is a line there that wasn't there previously. See that line there? So now we can try the path and break apart and see if that gets us anywhere. It might not. So no, you can see it's still together there. So that's okay. So let's go ahead and let's just do something simple here. Let's go grab our pen tool, just like so, and then we'll grab our selection tool and select that again, and then we'll use our keyboard shortcut. And now let's see if we're getting anywhere. So we are not. So we have this path down here. You see that there, but we lost it up here. Now this is a strange anomaly here. So let's do this again. So we will try this one more time here. So notice that the path that we had down there went away, but now we have this one again. So something is definitely a little strange there. So I'm just going to back up. There we go. Let's try doing both of those at the same time. So we're going to click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here. So we're going to try and use one path and cut them both and see if that doesn't do the job. And I think that does the job. We'll see here. Sure enough, it did the job. So now they're both cut. So we don't need this side. We need that one, but we don't need that whole bunch. Okay? So now we can see this a little bit more clearly. We have that, this, and that. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah?
I'm leaving right now.
To go where?
What?
All right. Bye bye.